A beautiful makeup look begins long before application. In today's video, I want to take you step by step through my full makeup brush cleaning routine. I'll show you how I maintain my beauty tools so that they continue looking amazing. We are going to go from, are you guys ready? From this to this, nice and clean. So stick around and let's get to cleaning. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is cleaning day. I have my dirty brushes here to wash. I have my dirty sponges and tools here. I tend to slack. I need to work on that. I need to work on washing my brushes a little sooner so that I don't have a bucket of them. In today's video, I'm going to take you through how I wash my brushes. I know everyone has their own way. This is just the way I do them. So I do have here some gloves. I do my nails, so I like to protect my nails. They just last longer when I use my gloves. I used to do a lot of things without protecting my nails, so they wouldn't last as long, so that helps out. All right, so as far as cleaning supplies, I have here a combination that I love, and I have done this for a good while now, and it just works perfectly for me. And this is using Dawn dish soap in combination with the Sigma foam brush shampoo. Now, Sigma has two versions of this. They have the liquid and the foam. I've found that, because I've tried the liquid, I feel like the foam version is so much better. So I'm going to be using that. I will also be using my Clinique makeup brush cleanser, and I'll show you how I use this. There's a little method or little strategy that I use that helps me tremendously. I have this scrub here that I specifically use for my makeup palettes here. Now, this is a regular size one. I just cut it in half because I don't need a huge one for those. I also have this Sigma cleaning mat, and this, oh my goodness, this makes a huge difference. Before I purchased this, I used to use the palm of my hand for cleaning. I mean, I know some people still do that, but oh my goodness, this mat just makes a huge difference, and it's just easier to clean. I have not one, but two of the Sigma drying racks or towers. They're actually called the Dry and Shape Tower. I purchased these every time they go on sale. They are a little pricey, so I always wait for that. And since I have a lot of brushes, two towers are perfect. I also have a couple of towels, hand towels that I use. And by the way, I will be forwarding some parts just so that this video isn't super long. The point of this video is just to show you how I wash my brushes. I call myself borderline OCD. I have acne prone skin and sensitive skin. So I want to make sure that my brushes are always super clean. And a little fact about myself, I do not use my brushes more than once. So if I used this N14, for example, today, that goes in the dirty bin. I've developed this phobia of getting bacteria on my face, on my clean face. So I guess I might be a little bit more than borderline OCD. Anyways, our goal is to maintain these brushes as best as we can without messing the bristles. You don't want to soak your brushes. I learned that a long time ago. When you soak your brushes, I used to just like toss them in the sink and let them sit there. The problem with that is that you get all that water in the barrels, and the water in that barrel will not fully dry. So that causes issues. Another thing is if you use super hot water, then I mean these brushes have glue in them, so that's part of what holds them together. So if you use super hot water, then and you're like soaking them in that water, that glue is gonna melt. When you go to like clean it, the bristles will just pop out. And I'm saying this out of experience. I'm sharing this out of experience because I've learned that, you know, you have to be careful with these. I don't like to use cold water because I've tried it before and it does not help with dissolving any oils, any makeup oils. So I like to use super warm water, not scorching hot, but super warm. So let's get this running. I like to close that up, pour some dish soap and some foam or brush shampoo, and then that should be good. I don't fill up the sink or anything like that. It's just a little, I kind of went a little bit more than what I usually do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these over here on this side. So the water is warm, it's not cold, and it's not scorching hot, it's super warm. Now, what I like to do, and by the way, using gloves, I was gonna tell you guys, using gloves helps in a couple of ways. One, not only does it protect your nails, but also it serves as, you know, an added like cleaning mat. So because it's rubber, it helps as well. Like you can get into like some other parts of the brush and it just helps. These fluffy brushes are easy to clean. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just, you know, dunk the bristles in the water and just swirl on this cleaning mat. And, you know, usually that does the trick, see? Now, what I just did was, aside from swirling, I didn't pull on the bristles, I just squeezed. Now, this one is pretty clean, but let's say your barrel is dirty. Remember, I don't like to soak it. So what I do is I just kind of wet it. And like I said, the gloves kind of help because they're, you know, the rubber on them. And so I just, you know, wipe it down a bit. And that's it. And I usually do this, I'm holding it with the bristles down. You're trying to avoid getting too much water in the barrel here. Now, I don't completely rinse this out. So if you notice, I still have soap on it. And that's okay because we're gonna clean these out. We're gonna rinse them out really good. So what I do is I place it here on this towel and I move on to the next one. Okay, so see, like this one is dirty from here. I just get some water and go over it like this. Plus it preserves, especially if they're wood, it preserves the wood. You don't want to soak these in water. All right. Now, one little detail that I want to talk about is, here, let me show you. Let's take this one, for example. This blush that I used here was super pigmented. And so as you can see, it stained the brush bristles. So I like to make sure that those bristles are no longer stained. To me, that's the sign that it's officially clean. So if you still find that you have some stains, you can still take them off. Okay, just work a little bit more, a little extra. That was a super pigmented blush. complexion brushes have denser bristles, and so they are more difficult to clean because it's liquid foundation and that really gets in there. So what I like to do is before I even soak it in the water, I like to get this Clinique makeup brush cleanser. I like to spray a paper towel and then I swirl the brush on the paper towel. And the paper towel is dry when you're spraying that solution on there. Now this is gonna help with taking off as much of that foundation as possible before I wet the bristles. Once the bristles are wet, oh my goodness, it's so difficult to take off the foundation on these complexion brushes. This spray is excellent. Like if I were to keep going, it would clean it like 90%. You would see the stains of the foundation completely go away. So I'm gonna stop there. I don't need to go further than that. When I do all of my complexion brushes, I'll do that to all of them first and then I start washing them. And let me show you another little trick. And I use this with like 4 or 5 of these at the same time. So let me go ahead and do the same thing to this one. Little trick to getting things done a little bit faster. Washing your brushes can be a little time consuming if you want to make sure that they're super clean. I know it seems like an extra step, but to be quite honest, this little extra step is going to save you some time. I'll probably have 4 or 5 at the same time. I swirl them, both of them, or as many as you have in your hand. Kind of dunk it, press. Sometimes I have to stop and just focus on one, and I kind of leave the second one like, kind of in the water, not completely submerged, but partially. And then I move on to the next one. And you'll start seeing the stain of the foundation go away. When I do that, I just flip it over so I could clean this side. Although these are pretty clean, I don't really have to do much. If you still see makeup on the brush, that just means it's not 100% clean. You can see the difference between these two already. So that one's done. I got to work on this one a little more. We're swirling. Sometimes we have to focus a little more on a brush because it just has that makeup absorbed in the fibers. There we go. See what a difference. So if we get one that's dirty, you'll see the difference here. Let's use, let me see, some eye brushes. When I do my eye brushes, like the smaller brushes, what I like to do is I get a good amount of them. So like, I don't know, 6, sometimes even 10 of them, depending on the size. But like these, for example, I can get like 6 of them, 5, 6 of them. And I can clean them at the same time. You just hold them and swirl all of them. You don't have to do them one by one. You just get like-minded brushes. So these are all, the, what is it? The 201, 202, 212. And you just, because they're similar shape brushes. And these are easy to clean. And that's it. See? And remember, I will set them here. And by the way, when you set them here with soap, it's still cleaning it while it's sitting there. We're gonna rinse those out really good in a little bit. Okay, what else do I wanna show you guys? If you own these A506 ones, they are similar to the Complexion brushes where the bristles are super soft, but they're a little more dense. And what I like to do is I like to get all of the ones that I have, but I'm gonna just get these 3 for now. And I'll do the same thing. I don't do them one by one unless I have to focus on one because it's really bad. But what I like to do is I get a few of them and just clean them at the same time. This saves you a lot of time. So you want to make sure that you are cleaning your brushes thoroughly. You don't want to add bacteria to your face, making breakouts even worse. I'm 46 years old and I still have to deal with being careful and, you know, occasional breakout. This was a smudge brush. This one is a shader brush, but I like to use this type of brush to shape my eyebrows. And so when I shape my eyebrows, I use concealer. And so it becomes similar to like the Complexion brushes where it has that product in there, like, oh my God, like really in there. So what I like to do is I get multiples as well. And for these, I do, you know, dunk them in the water for a little, just get them a little wet. These can be so difficult to wash. So, you know, I can't just swirl them on here and, you know, them be clean afterwards. So what I like to do is I will pour a little bit of the dish soap and I will rub it through. Check that out. So there are little tricks like these that will help you clean your brushes thoroughly. See? And then you just, you know, rinse it out a little. And then if you still see some in there, just go in again. That little trick there helps with making sure your brush is clean. Sometimes what I like to do to speed up the process is I'll do all the fluffy brushes first, because fluffy brushes are a lot easier to clean. So I'll do those first and then move on to like the harder ones, and that way kind of helps me mentally as well because then I don't feel like I'm stuck on the most difficult ones. When you're going to let them run under the water, hold them with the bristle down so that you don't get so much water in the barrel. Washing brushes is one thing that I tend to avoid, but I will tell you that after I'm done looking at all my clean brushes, it's very satisfying. Moving on to Sigma switches. If you own these, I love these for eyeshadow. You can use them for blush as well, but I mainly use these for when I'm using eyeshadow. Takes the pigment off. Now these are pretty easy to clean, but there's a lot of little crevices here. So you want to make sure that you are getting in there. So I'm using this, the rough side, to scrub it a little extra. This is just like an initial rinse off, but I like to do a thorough rinse before setting them to dry. All right, next are these makeup palettes that I love to use every day for my foundation. Just dunk them in there. I'm gonna use the soft side for these so that, I mean, they're already kind of scratched up because you can't have them perfect, but just to avoid scratching them even more, I'm gonna set them right here. Now for the sponges. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to use hot water, not scorching hot, you don't want to burn yourself, but as hot as I can tolerate. This is for the sponges. Like I said, you don't want scorching hot water because then you don't want to burn yourself. But as hot as you can tolerate is, I find, best here. Now, for this one, you can, if you need a little break and you gotta go get something to drink like I do right now, you can let them soak a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. Okay, so took my little break because I needed to hydrate. This is why I think I kind of subconsciously avoid this part of beauty, but it's absolutely necessary. So part of self-care is also keeping things clean. Going back in, notice how, check that out, you have a bunch of makeup. In this little batch I have actual beauty blenders, like the actual brand, as well as the Amazon brand that I get of beauty sponges. I will tell you that when it comes down to cleaning these, don't ask me how or why, but the Amazon brand is 10 times easier to clean than the beauty blender. I'm thinking that it's because of the material that it's made out of, maybe. I don't know, but I barely even, did any scrubbing or anything. Look, this one is the Amazon beauty sponge. It's clean. And like I said, they're soaking, and I mean, the makeup just easily fell off of them. When it comes down to the beauty blender, you get stains like these, and then, I mean, I love the beauty blender. It is the best. I'll tell you that right now. But I gotta be gentle, because if I scrub too hard, it'll start falling apart on me. If you have some little spots in your beauty sponge that have makeup in it, then you can use the Sigma cleaning mat and just like scrub it, and it'll come off really quick, really easily. Right now I'm just like double checking because I really don't need to do much scrubbing. And another thing with these gloves, when I'm squeezing these sponges, it serves as a you know, as an extra scrub here. Super cute. Look at the sunglasses. In bulk, I like to do this just to make sure that, you know, get that soap absorbed in there. And again, this is my initial rinse because I go in with a second rinse, a thorough rinse for all of this stuff here. All right, I'm gonna put these because they do need their last rinse. So I'm gonna put these in here like this. It'll be a lot easier to grab them, so. You get to see my process here. All right, and I want to give these their last rinse because I know they still have some soap in them. And this one too. I'm gonna lay this clean one down here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all the rinsed stuff onto this here. So as you notice, I gave the sponges their last rinse and I ended up squeezing using a clean towel, dry clean towel, to squeeze as much of the water as possible. This way they dry, because if you don't do that, they will take forever to dry. Now the next step is I'm going to give the brushes their final rinse, thorough rinse, and I'm gonna set them on this towel right here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I will be squeezing as much of the water out, and then I will be adding them to these towers here, these drying towers. At this point, what I like to do is I like to get the drying racks or drying towers, and I'll flip it over because it'll be a lot easier to put these brushes in there. And then what I like to do is I grab each brush. I know this can be tedious, but when you squeeze as much of the water out, it'll just dry your brushes a lot faster. And I like to flip them over because, I mean, when you let them dry, they're this way right here. But to be putting them that way, it's so difficult to try to, you know, put the brushes in there. So I just flip it over. These drying towers are set up so that you are putting a smaller brush, a bigger brush, smaller, bigger, and then the top is meant for the eye brushes. So for the smaller brushes. So I'm gonna add those brushes and we're almost done. So if you're wondering how many brushes it fits, 20 brushes. That's not bad. At this point, I flip it over. And now for the eye brushes. All right, everyone. Well, we accomplished our goal, which was to wash these lovely brushes and tools. Now we just got to let them dry. And usually I let my brushes dry for about a day or two. The importance of cleaning your makeup brushes and beauty tools. Truth is that proper brush care and cleaning is essential for skin health and for makeup quality. I mean, think about it. Would you prefer a bacteria-filled, dingy brush that will cause streaks on your face, or a nice clean one that'll give you way better results? Plus, the amount of money that we invest in these gorgeous, luxurious brushes, I mean, it would be a shame to ruin them out of improper care or no care at all. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way, shape, or form. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more beauty content. And don't forget, keep those brushes clean. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.